Welcome to our podcast, Where Are We At Today? I'm Dina.
I'm Grove.
We are at different locations in Orlando bringing you information about what to do, where to eat, and something cool to see. Grove, what did you find to do in Orlando this week?
So back in high school and middle school, I used to volunteer at this very cool historical garden in Gotha called Nerling Gardens. It's at 2267 Hempel Avenue, Gotha, Florida. Um, and it's about I think 100 or maybe even over 100 years old. And it was made by this guy called Henry Nerling, who was, I think, a botanist experimenting with various things. And it's this cool blend of like native Florida wildlife and like um, wildlife that Henry Nerling was studying. And it's just sort of it's a nice historical look into the past, with like, um, sort of, and you can like look at it with like hindsight of what these things were and the problems that came with introducing um, these plants. That some of them became invasive species, and if you want to help out, they always need help getting rid of the invasive species and weeding the gardens. It's really nice to thing to do to help preserve history and help with the ecosystem.
Yeah, I read that they tested over 3,000 plants from the area, and 300 became essential to the state's the horticulture. So they tested 3,300 of those is the ones that they tested.
It's a really impressive place, and they they're trying to restore it. There's like a greenhouse. I haven't been there in a while, so hopefully they have that greenhouse restored, because I can just imagine all the different plants they grew there. But
I
anyway,
bet.
yeah.
Did you take photography when you were there? I saw there was a lot of plants around.
I took some pictures. Nothing particularly impressive, um, but there are sure a lot of beautiful things to take pictures of. There's like beautiful plants and like beautiful um like structures of plants. Like I not really landscaping, but just the natural way these things grew together. There's like this patch of bamboo, and there's this big lake to look out on with like a dock, and it is quite beautiful.
Okay, that's awesome. I definitely want to check that out. And that was in Gotha, Florida.
Yeah, Gotha, Florida.
Gotha.
Yeah.
Okay.
How about you? What did you find to do?
I found a park and it's called Bomberos Park and it's rather new. It's only been there about a year. And of course, the location is excellent. It's really close to my house. I have a 7-year-old daughter. So when she gets kind of wild and stuff, we just kind of go to the park and just let her run around. The amazing thing about this park is it has clean restrooms. It's like a little concession stand. I think they do like soccer stuff there, but to have a park with a child with a clean restroom and the location is close is really nice. Playground equipment is all new. It's like soft padding, and it also has slides and swings. And my daughter loves both of those, so that's always a plus. They also have like a little path around where you can like go out and walk. We've never been on it yet, but it's a nice little chat area to walk around, and it's kind of like in the country, kind of. So it's not like city cars driving by. So
Okay.
it was really fun to go there and hang out with her there.
The only views I really have are satellite imagery. How big is this park? It looks pretty
It's not
big.
it's not too big. The playground area is a nice size. They have a like, but then they have like a soccer field that's big.
Oh,
Then
nice.
have it's not like gigantic where you can like lose your child. You can pretty much sit on a bench and see what they're doing.
Okay.
All right, so let's move on to the next. Where to eat? Grove, what did you find to eat that was great?
I found. it's actually like really close to Nerling Gardens actually. Now that I think about it, you could walk from Nerling Gardens to Yellow Dog. Yellow
Oh, that's
Dog,
nice.
yeah, Yellow Dog is also got a bit of history behind it. It used to be, from what I recall, a general store back um, probably to when Nerling built Nerling Gardens. Um, and that general store is gone. Like they moved out, but since it was historical, it's still districted for commercial use. So Yellow Dog came in, and there's a whole restaurant, and it serves really good food. It's very conveniently located in a residential neighborhood. If you're visiting Nerling Gardens, it's a great place to go to eat. They've got all sorts of like interesting combinations of food, and just like it's a very creative place. It's got a sort of hippie aesthetic. Um, it's very it's hippie aesthetic, but it's not like particularly abrasive. I don't, but like it's sort of like what's it called? Like a almost a jerry rigged. It's like the whole place is sort of like improvised. There's like drawings on the walls. Um, there's like uh, just sort of like extended off of this like general store because they move into the general store to be able to put a restaurant in a sort of residential area. So they have to like build off of it while keeping the character of the original building, and it creates this unique aesthetic, and combine that with the unique food. It's definitely a place to visit.
So that sounds really neat, especially it's so close to the gardens. So all of it is barbecue, is that right?
Um, it's not it's not what I'd say a barbecue restaurant. A lot of it is barbecue, but
Oh, okay.
um, yeah, I think the best thing is just to take a look at the menu. It's just all sorts of interesting combinations, and it's all good. Um,
Okay. Well, I did see that they had a vegetarian option, so that's awesome.
yeah,
And the kids' meal looked great. Obviously, I have to check that out. And then there was a name of a dish called Kitty Cat.
yeah, they have all sorts of interesting names. Um,
Very unique.
what did you find to eat, Dina?
I found Hot Taco, and it is on 9680 Narcousie Road. And I really like the no pressure ordering because I've never been there before. And my husband and I showed up and we're kind of getting a feel for it. And then they have the menus right there on the counter, and you can kind of take your time and actually look through the thing, decide what you want. So you're like standing at the counter and they're like staring at you like, what do you want? Hurry up. I got things to do. And you feel pressured and you just pick something. But I had the street tacos and they were so good. I have not had street tacos in a while and they were amazing. Everything was clean. It was a great location. The parking was easy and it was really close to my house, which was nice. Go grab something and be back.
It certainly looks great. Oh, they got like outside seating with like interesting lighting and
All the
wow.
green umbrellas.
Yeah, the interesting like colored paintings, all that.
It was
Uh,
really, really good. So we can't wait to go back there. We're definitely going to try it again.
but no pressure ordering. That sounds lovely. I know I certainly feel like anxiety about trying to find something to order at a new restaurant while I'm like waiting in line and holding people up, maybe. But
Right, or you
yeah,
usually just kinda do your go-to and you don't really get to try new things because 'cause you're not quite for sure, and then you're just, "Okay, just go to the go-to and be done with it and move on." Alright, was there something cool that you saw?
so for this one, I chose there is a path, like a walking path, sort of like tiny mini park behind Valencia East Campus.
Cool, I saw that back there, but I didn't know it was actually a walking trail.
It's about as big as it looks, but like um but what I like is it's just far enough away from the roads that you don't really hear the cars, and it's got this nice little like lake and a little path with a bridge over a creek. Um, and you get this lovely view of this restoration area right behind Valencia. And you can just sort of peer into the forest behind it and see the wildlife. Uh, and the path around it is made from seashells, which was interesting. Not the most comfortable thing to walk on, but
Wow.
it's certainly unique.
I'll have to look for that. I love nature walks and trails and being out in the scenery like that. It's just beautiful. I did notice there was I saw on the Google Maps there was a Pulse Memorial back there. Have you seen that?
Yes, I have seen that.
Okay.
It is a memorial to I think it was 7 Valencia students which died at the Pulse shooting, unfortunately. But
Oh man.
yeah, so
Well, I
it's a
definitely want to get back there and see the memorial for sure and the nature walk. Do you know how long the trail is?
it's not very far. It's just a walk around a small pond, but
Okay.
I just love it so much that it's worth it.
So quiet.
Yeah.
That sounds amazing.
So, what did you find to see, Dina?
This is really unique. But there are turkeys that live out in this field off of Narcousie Road before you get to the 528 toll road. They haven't built anything on that side of the road, and I hope they don't because they're not there all the time. But to me, when I moved to Orlando 5 years ago, you know, you're in a town in a big city with lots of people. You don't think that there's so much wildlife, especially a group of wild turkeys. But you look over there and you see like a whole flock of turkeys hanging out in a field, and I don't know if people just don't appreciate it or don't even notice it. Maybe they just kind of look over it, they don't really see it. But to me, I think that's kind of neat how they can just coexist in this big city. You know, there's tons of forests, but then there's tons of highways and there's airplanes flying over constantly. It's just amazing that they can just live there and do their thing and not really be disturbed.
It's always nice to have a little like island of nature, um, and like especially when you have wildlife that can just that can live there too. Um, yeah, it's not the easiest thing to find. We're looking for it, since it's not really a place too much. So like, could you describe like the field and where the turkeys are and like how many of them or something like that? Uh,
Yeah, I think I've seen at least 10, or there's probably more than that because also if you go on down on Narcousie, when I'm going to school, when I'm going to Valencia East, I see them a lot. And if you keep going past that field and then you get on Lee Vista and turn toward the college, there's a school back there. And I don't know the name of the school, but I've saw them in that field also. And that street's really busy. You would think that there would not be a home for wild turkeys.
I think that does it for this podcast. Been Dina and Grove. Yeah.
We're bringing you great locations to check out. Thanks for listening.
All right.